Preparing. YouTube. All right.
Ready?
We're ready.
Okay, we're ready now.
Okay. All right. At this time, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Texarkana, Arkansas Board of Directors to order. At this time, we'll have roll call.
Director Minor,
Barbara, yes.
Director Peavy,
Here. Here.
Director Teeters,
Here.
Director Harris,
Here.
Director Hollabush,
Here.
Director Brewer,
Here.
Mayor Brown.
Here. If I may, before we get into the consent agenda, I know that we don't have a prayer or pledge, but I thought it would be appropriate if we could just hold a moment of silence for our former director that we lost this past week, and Director Travis Odom, and a moment of silence for he and his family. Thank you. Director Odom was a true trooper for the city of Texarkana, Arkansas, and a personal friend of mine for several years. And he'll be somebody that our community will certainly miss. And I appreciate y'all doing that. On the consent agenda, Director Harris has requested that item number 2 and item number 3 be removed from the consent agenda. So at this time, the only item on the consent agenda will be item number 1, which is approval of the minutes of the regular meeting. What is the desire of the board to approve of the minutes of the previous meeting on March 16th?
Lane Harris move for adoption.
Stephen Hollabush, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 And the consent agenda for the approval of the minutes is approved. The first item is item number 2. It's to adopt a resolution authorizing city manager to enter into a design build contract with True Hollingsworth Architects and Contact Contractors for the design and renovation of the Texarkana Regional Facility. Director Harris.
Oh, I would just didn't want to vote on. If you notice from the last the last 2 or 3 years, well, I say the last 2 years, I haven't voted on nothing having to do with the Boys and Girls Club. I had voted present, and I won't continue to vote present. So that's the reason why I was taking that off, because I don't know if the public, as people were aware of, that I was censored in going to the Boys and Girls Club about a meeting I supposed to have conducted, and the meeting was already established that Friday. But I know that I was singled out for punishment regarding to the Boys and Girls Club. So that's the reason why I choose not to have vote on anything that comes up with the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay. Does any other director have any questions or concern about item 2 moving forward with the Texarkana Recreational Facility?
Tyler, just to make sure that I'm remembering this correctly, True Hollingsworth Architects, are they out of Magnolia?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay. They've done several projects around town, and I recognize the name. And so it's good that somebody with a nice reputation has been working on this. And speaking for myself, I'm quite excited that this is going to start having just some progress made on this, and I'm just really excited for it.
Yes, ma'am, I'm excited too.
Any other discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve of the resolution.
So moved. Teeters.
Second.
George, Mayor, this is George Madison. I know this is our first round. Does the board want it read as if it were on the regular agenda?
Please have it read in abbreviated form by Teeters.
And
It's a resolution, Director, so I can,
Okay.
it's about a page long, but I can go through it.
All righty, thank you.
Whereas in connection with the design and renovation of the Texarkana recreational facility, requests for proposals were solicited for construction management, architectural services.
Okay, the resolution has been read. Is there any discussion? All those, could you call the roll, please?
Minor,
Yes, Minor.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Present.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes. So the resolution passes. The next item is item number 3, to adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a lease agreement with Cross Ties of Texarkana Incorporated for the use of the caboose located on Wood Street. Director Harris.
Yes, my first concern is I understand that this guy is next door to the caboose there, but from what I'm finding out, that why, my first question I'm asking is, why wasn't this publicly noticed that this caboose was up for being able to be rented out, and that's my first concern. I know $100 is a a good price. I looked at the thing, the documentation, it said only $100. And I know he's maybe trying to come do it with events he's having, at events he's having, because he got a property adjacent to that. But could have did a land deal separate, because I know it also tied in a land deal along with the caboose building. Then my other question I would ask is, could he somehow get exclusive use of that, like from 5 to 2 o'clock or something, and give other people a chance or opportunity to use this caboose? Because once the public is aware that it was available for rent, I'm quite sure a lot of people will have that opportunity to rent it. So that's my concern about this.
Does any directors have any comments?
I would like to hear our city manager respond to that, if that would be okay.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Terry. First of all, that caboose has been sitting out there for a number of years. And to my knowledge, no one has ever approached the city regarding a monetary exchange for use. Second thing is, the caboose is currently a non-performing asset, meaning it's just sitting there and it hasn't been used.
I'm sorry,
We
city
request a
manager.
proposal for the
We're getting-
KFC building that we sold on Hickory. Nor did we require proposals for the parking lot behind City Hall. And we certainly didn't require proposals for the property that we are currently leasing downtown, meaning the parking lot. So we have 2 parking lots that we are currently leasing that we never require proposals for that. And nor did we require proposals for the KFC building that we sold for a monetary exchange. So I'm not understanding the opposition, but there you go.
Dr. Haskins,
Ma'am,
are the people that it's being leased to, are they going to be responsible for the upkeep?
Absolutely. The maintenance and upkeep, very good question, Terry. And of course, we've been maintaining it for all these years.
The deck that's already been constructed there, Kenny, is that in that on the Cross Ties property that they bought in conjunction with the Moore's Furniture property?
It is indeed, sir.
And so this lease will be up for renewal every year. This is only for 1 year, is that correct?
I believe it's 5 years. And potentially renewal after 5 years, yes.
So, so we are relieved of any maintenance on it.
That is correct.
Was this, wasn't a lease agreement prepared for by you, George?
That's correct.
Mayor, may I, Lena Harris?
Yes.
My issue is not is the idea that should this be made available, that it was possibility a person could rent this or lease this. That's the issue I'm bringing out. It's not the idea that it's being leased, that the public was not aware that it was available to being leased. You know, and that's the point I'm trying to bring out. Now, if they you know, it's not beside the point. He got it at a good deal, $100 a month. You know, that's excellent. You know, I wish I can find something like that, get $100 a month. But it's just the idea that this one made available to the public, and that's what I'm stressing. So.
Well, this is Director Peavy again. I'm not sure that just because no one had thought to ask if it could be leased out, I don't think that the cross ties people should be punished for that. And again, I'm not sure what our maintenance costs have been on this, but I'm glad that they're going to be incurring the maintenance on it. And I think we're trying to get downtown where more people come down there and so forth. And just because they were the first ones to come up with the idea, I don't think they should be penalized.
And also keep in mind, this is currently a non-performing asset that we have on our books.
That's what I said. Let him have.
Any other discussion? If not, George, could you read the resolution in its abbreviated form?
Whereas Cross Ties of Texarkana desires to lease the caboose located within the edge of the right-of-way on Wood Street for use in connection with operation of an event venue upon property owned by Cross Ties adjacent to the caboose. And whereas Arkansas Code annotated sections 1454-104 and 1454-302 confer upon the city the power to lease public grounds, and whereas the operation of the property in connection with an adjacent business will further encourage the development and vitalization of downtown and serve the public benefit. And whereas the city manager and staff recommend approval, now therefore be it resolved by the that the city manager is authorized to enter into a lease in the form attached hereto with the cross ties covering the above described caboose underlying property and any small strip of land that may exist between the same and property owned by Cross Ties, passed and approved this 20th day of May 2020.
Is there any other discussion? If not,
I'll
I hear a motion to adopt. Yes.
Mayor, this Lane Harris, I would want to make throw this into the record, make a motion that he's entitled to lease it 30 as so stated, but get it like from 5 p.m. until 2 p.m. each day. That way they'll give someone an opportunity somewhere else and during the daytime able to lease that. And like I said, David, that his will be on the time as to each day from 5 p.m. until 2 p.m. Until 2 a.m. at night.
So let me just make sure we're on the same page. So you're asking to amend the current lease with those specific hours for Cross Ties?
Right, yes.
Okay. So, George, correct me if I'm wrong, but so Director Harris is asking for an amendment to the lease agreement. We would vote on that amendment separately or
if I get a
majority?
As this is George Madison, as the director points out, if he gets a second and it passes, but I would think it could be viewed as a motion to approve the lease with one modification being it covers from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. every day.
I would
not-
just like to add.
Is that that's your motion, Director Harris, is to ask for those hours to be implemented into the lease? Yes, okay. Is there a second? Is there a second? So here, not hearing a second, the amendment dies. We're back to voting on the original adoption of the resolution that the city attorney has read. Do I hear a motion to adopt?
It's Director Hollebush. I'll make a motion to adopt.
Here a second?
Teeter, second.
Okay. Could you call the roll, please?
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris. Director Harris, Director Hollebush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. And the resolution passes. So we're moving on to the item that we have on our regular agenda, which is item number 4, which is to adopt an ordinance expanding the powers of the city of Texarkana, Arkansas's Public Facilities Board to secure and develop industry.
I don't know.
Mayor, if it's okay, I'd like to start this real quickly.
Yes.
This is just simply a modification of the current ordinance that we have on the books to allow for the PFC, the Public Facilities Commission, to engage in economic development activities. Obviously, you know, in the past, we've sort of moonlighted with one person working economic development here for the city, but now that we have this mechanism that we actually did not know about until recently, that will allow for the Public Facilities Commission to actually function as an arm, as a unit to spur on development. And as most of you are aware of, we've suffered quite a bit of job loss over the past several months. And I can assure you this Public Facilities Commission is going to be extremely aggressive in working with our partners in the community, i.e. READY, in pursuing economic development.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Not hearing any discussion at this time, and this ordinance will have to be read 3 times, and it's also an emergency clause that's been requested. Do I hear a motion to have the ordinance read on its first reading?
Stephen Hollebush, motion to have it read in first reading, abbreviated form.
Have a second?
This is Brewer, second.
Okay. Although, Heather, could you call the roll, please?
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollebush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance expanding the powers of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas Public Facilities Board to secure and develop industry, prescribing other matters relating thereto, and declaring an emergency.
So the ordinance has been read on its first reading in abbreviated form. Do I hear a motion and a second to have it read on its second reading?
Stephen Hollebush, motion for second reading in abbreviated form.
Brewer, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to have the ordinance read on its second reading. Could you call the roll, please?
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollebush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes. Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance expanding the powers of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas Public Facilities Board to secure and develop industry, prescribing other matters relating thereto, and declaring an emergency.
Okay, the ordinance has been read on its second reading and its abbreviated form. Do I hear a motion to have the ordinance read today on its third and final reading?
Motion for third and final reading in abbreviated form, Stephen Hollowbush.
Second, Ulysses Brewer.
So we have a motion and a second. Could you call the roll, please, Heather?
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. So the ordinance has been read on its third and final reading. Do I hear a motion to adopt?
Minor,
I need-
motion to adopt.
Mayor, before we get ahead of ourselves, we need the third reading for the record.
I'm sorry.
An ordinance expanding the powers of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas Public Facilities Board to secure and develop industry, prescribing other matters relating thereto, and declaring an emergency.
Okay, the ordinance has now been read in its third and final reading. Do I hear any discussion? Do I hear for a motion to adopt? Do I have a motion to adopt?
Hollowbush,
Brewer.
motion to adopt.
Teeters, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Is there anyone that wishes to speak against the voting of this particular ordinance today? Hearing none, could you call the roll, please?
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. So the ordinance has passed. The city is requesting an emergency clause attached to this particular ordinance. Do I hear a motion and a second to approve of an emergency clause?
Motion to suspend rules in place, you enact the emergency clause, Director Peavy.
Have a second?
Ulysses Brewer, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to enact the emergency clause. Is there any other discussion? Prior to voting, is there anyone that is listening, wishes to object to emergency clause being enacted? If not, could you call the roll, please?
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. So the emergency clause passes with the adoption of the ordinance. Heather, are we aware of any citizens that have contacted the city for citizens communication time?
No, sir.
Okay. Is there any other business that any director would like to bring before the board?
Mayor, I do. Lane
Yes.
Harris. I'm asking the question as to when we sit, if we ever have a board meeting sitting in the boardroom, and then whether the stake is still going on, I was gonna make a suggestion that every other board member probably could sit out front, space apart. Like you may have like myself too, then you may have like George Madison, then Skip, then you sitting up front, then the next one would be Brewer be sitting out, then I guess Ward 4, then Ward 6 be sitting out front. Then at the next board meeting, you probably can change it. Then who's sitting out in front, they'll sit at their desk like that. I just try to just throw that in. If we still want to, with the coronavirus and all that still going on. So.
That's so noted. And Kenny, would you like to comment anything from an update from the Municipal League as for guidance of meeting in person for city boards?
Good question, Mayor. Well, that discussion did come up yesterday, and we're still vetting it. They're looking from guidance for guidance from the governor's health inspectors. So I believe we'll know for sure whether or not the state will endorse in-person meetings for boards and councils and aldermen throughout the state within the next week and a half. So we'll know.
The last comment that I would make is one, I'm glad that everybody is safe and that we were able to at least kind of semi get back to normal conducting a meeting. I want to say that I appreciate everybody's support. I appreciate everybody information. I appreciate everybody continuing to help Kitty and I and our Office of Emergency Management continue to get the word out that we need to continue to comply with the Arkansas Department of Health and our governor's directives. I know all of you are aware that the governor was here a couple of weeks ago. He had nothing but praise for the city for what we've been able to do in a kind of a semi-tough situation being on the Texas border. I can tell you in my recent conversations that I feel like that we're about 2 weeks behind from where we thought we would be as far as getting into phase 2. I think that maybe some announcements will start occurring towards the end of this week. The governor is out of state right now. And when he returns, I think there will be some decisions made end of this week, maybe the first part of next week and after Memorial Day as to a possible projected date for moving into phase 2. And for the most part, from the city's perspective, from the mayor's office perspective, every citizen, every business has complied with what we've asked them to do, and they need to be applauded for that. And we just need to keep reiterating that we need to continue to move forward, do what we're supposed to be doing, and we can get back to normal hopefully quicker. But I think that's going to occur a little bit later than what we all anticipated a couple of weeks ago within our meetings with the governor. We're about 2 weeks behind. All right, any other discussion? Okay, if not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Stephen Hollabush, motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. Could you call the roll, please, Heather?
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hollabush,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes, with one comment, our next meeting will be Monday, June the 1st. It looks like more than likely that will be by Zoom again. And then if there is some direction we get from the municipal league, certainly you'll be the first to know. But right now I would assume that our meeting on June the 1st will be at Zoom as well. Okay, you guys have a great rest of the week and a great Memorial Day weekend. We're adjourned.
Bye, everybody.